Reese was like pulling Cardoso's hair and doing
I was
all
gonna
this.
say, did you see her pulling her hair?
Yes.
Like, what is going on? The Bayou Barbies and the Trump Barbies are doing too much.
And then for John Shire just to go out and just apologize to the seniors, for losing. But it's not going to reprimand their behavior for throwing ice and drinks at Carolina after you had all this stuff to say at Wake Forest.
Okay, it's time to bring the crazies to the carpet. This is not the first time this season that they've done something this insidious.
You ready to get this going, brother? Let's jump into some chaos and what's been chaotic out there. We are going to start with women's college basketball because Lord knows they had the world on fire and on notice this weekend. I think people was
Yes, they
talking about
did.
women's college basketball more than anything else. It's just amazing the elevation and the evolution that has come about with women's college basketball right now. But let's start with South Carolina and LSU and what a weekend it was for South Carolina. First, they lose a 23-point lead and find themselves down 2 to Tennessee with 1.1 seconds to go when Camila Cardoso is left wide open and she hits her first career three-pointer to win the game. We're going to come back to that game and talk about that a little bit, that decision there. Then in the championship game, they have a 79-72 victory over LSU. But the story was all about the brawl that took place. With just over 2 minutes to go, LSU, Floja Johnson intentionally fouled South Carolina's Malaysia. What's her name? Malaysia, I think, is Fawali. And then Johnson then shoved South Carolina's Ashlyn Watkins down. Well, she didn't shove her down. She shoved her. And then Johnson herself was shoved to the ground by Miss Cardoso, who came out of nowhere to shove her to the ground. And when that happened, all the benches cleared, all hell broke loose. Then Johnson's brother comes jumping over the scores table. We found out later that he got charged with disorderly conduct and assault for doing that.
I thought they said he wasn't arrested.
He was.
Mm.
And I don't I don't blame that unless you saw something that said he wasn't. Everything I saw that said he was charged with disorderly conduct.
Whoa.
Then Cardoso, she's expected to be the only one suspended. They're saying, the first game of the tournament for fighting, but we'll wait and see. But now that wasn't it, brother. But there were two very different responses from the coaches and what happened in this situation too. First, we have Dawn Staley, who apologizes for what took place, and like immediately after the game, on the on-court interview, she just says, "I just want to apologize to the basketball community for when you're playing a championship game like this in our league, things get heated. I just want to apologize, for everything that took place there. No bad intentions. Their emotions got so far ahead of them that sometimes things like this happen." And later in her post-game comments, she takes responsibility for what happened with South Carolina and, for her team and role in that. Now, Ms. Kim Mulkey, she had a totally different response. In her press-game conference, she said, "It's ugly. It's not good. No one wants to be part of that. But I tell you this, I wish Cardoso would have pushed Angel Reese. If you're 6'8", don't push somebody that little. That was uncalled for, in my opinion. Let those two girls who are jawing, let them go at it." Wild weekend here for South Carolina, brother.
Donald Trump Barbie. Donald Trump Barbie gets to say whatever she wants to say and gets away with it. Just imagine if Dawn Staley would have said that. You remember just last year how they were calling Dawn Staley and the South Carolina team thugs. You know what thugs are code for. We know.
We know.
So, but Dawn Staley is one of the classiest individuals that you will meet in the basketball arena. And
I
it's a
agree.
shame that they get saddled with ridicule for being aggressive and call these all kind of these dirty names. But Donald Trump Barbie gets to come out here and show her rear end, and
Okay.
she gets to skate scot free.
That scot free. Now, I will say the media today, they have been railroading her,
Good.
which they need to. Um,
Yes.
but
But if Don Steady would have said that, that would have been a front page news last night. It would have
yeah,
taken today for this to happen.
yeah. No, I agree. I agree with you, brother. Like, I don't know what needs to be done necessarily, but something needs to be like she's got to be held to some kind of accountability here. Like, I don't know what you could do, but that's instigating. Like, how does a coach respond that way?
It sounds like Donald Trump.
It
Let's just be
does.
aggressive. Let's fight. Let's act like we don't have any manners or decorum. Let's start a civil war. Come on, let's do it. And I don't want to be like overstating things, but we support fascists. You act like a fascist.
Oh, okay. Absolutely. He did. You got a point there. And I just wanted to share real quick. And I see ESPN I just want to double check. It says brother of LSU guard arrested at the tournament
Oh
tussle.
well, I got some bad intel, but baby, he leapt over that desk.
Left.
I was like, he didn't just be in the high jump competition.
Who does that though? Like, who does that? Like, I'm confused. What were you gonna go out there and do? Go and punch a female?
Now, I saw certain videos where people were texting that he was a thug. That may be appropriate. That's thuggish behavior. You don't do that
That's
in the women.
appropriate to use that word
Yeah.
then.
What, like
Hmm.
you said, what are you gonna do? You're gonna tackle a bunch of women?
Like, I'm so
Well, I mean,
confused.
what are you there to do?
What? That was not a good look. Not a
I
good
mean,
look at
sometimes you have to just, well, a lot of times, be rational. Don't be quick to anger. When you're quick to anger, or you got to show your quote unquote manhood, and like, oh, I got to rap my sister. Your sister
yeah,
can handle herself, and your
absolutely.
sister, your sister instigated the stuff.
Okay, hello. And this is one of the other parts about Kim's comments. Because she's like, oh, I wish she would have went over there and I wish she would have did that to Angel Reese, blah, blah, blah. How about talking about your player starting all this and how, apologizing for that and being like how we need to nip this in the bud. Like, where's the responsibility of your own player who started this whole thing?
Period.
And
And have you
LSU,
seen the
the
video?
whole game was they were Reese was like pulling Cardoso's hair and
I
doing
was
all
gonna
this.
say, did you see her pulling her hair?
Yes.
Like, what is going on? The Bayou Barbies and the Trump Barbies are doing too much.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Like, then Angel Reese, I don't know if you saw her comments and stuff afterwards too, where she was like, we ain't scared. We ain't scared of South Carolina. Some people scared of them, but we not scared. Like, what is
You
going
better be, because you ain't beat them in 13 years.
on? Okay. Okay. They better be. Now should you be worried about South Carolina right now, though?
I am worried about South Carolina. They didn't play well against. I think it was Texas A&M. They played the game
But
before.
they only won by like 9 points or something
Yeah,
against
and
them.
they I'm worried about the turnovers. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this team offensively is a lot better than the typical Don Staley teams in the past that were
Yes.
focused more on defense. Like, this team plays great defense too, but they are talented offensively. They have a great outside shooting. They have great guard play as well. Great inside presence. It's just the turnovers, man. The turnovers.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. And they're lucky to even be there. That Tennessee game, what was Tennessee thinking? Like, okay.
Well, Dawn Staley said if it was her, she would have left it wide open too.
Did she say
I
that?
mean, sometimes some things are listen.
It's
I would probably live and die with her taking that 3-pointer too. She's
I
never,
agree. You
but
could live
not
and die with
16 feet
that.
away. Like I think the closest person was 16 feet away from her. That's a little too much space.
Okay.
I think they were protecting the inside. They didn't want to. They were
They
going to give
were
them the
because they were down
3.
2.
Yeah, they will give them the 3, but not the 2.
But at the same time, you don't have anybody guarding the inbounder. So it's 5-on-4.
Yeah, I'd never get not guarding the inbounder. Like, have we not learned that from Duke,
Like, how you let that just be like such a free
Kentucky?
little inch
Yes.
like
Have we
this?
not learned from Grant Hill and Christian Laettner?
And I
Put
get
somebody on the
right.
ball.
I guess we haven't. And I guess if you are waiting that if you are guarding the paint, you're gonna have the extra one there. But still, I'm like, no one should be that wide open on a 5-on-4.
I
Like
think somebody had to make a mistake. I'm assuming.
somebody had to.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's move on from that one and let's go to another heated rivalry between the Tar Heels and the Dookies. Yes. So the
So you're not
rivalries.
gonna bring up Caitlin Clark, bring an owl back to win the Big Ten championship for the 3rd time in a row?
No.
Well, shout out to you, Caitlin. Let's move on to the Tar Heels.
She ended up talking about we she fine.
She good.
Was anybody else gonna win that? Was anybody else supposed to?
Well, Nebraska was beating them for the majority of the game.
They were. She played terrible in the first half, but then she
Yes,
came on the second half.
and she
Um,
put it on them.
and she put it on them. Great job, Caitlin. I give you that.
Okay, now let's talk about the best game of the day
Okay,
of the
so
weekend.
that's what I'm talking about. The best one right here. So the Tar Heels rolled up into Cameron Indoor Stadium there, and they, did their thing. They started off so strong. They were up by as many as 15 in the first half. The Heels pulled out an 84-79 win over Duke. Cormac Ryan was on fire. He finished with 31 points. Legendary game within the rivalry. We completed our 2-game sweep over Duke and ruined their senior night once again. But a lot of the talk ended up being around the fans having to dodge drinks and candy and everything being thrown at them at the game, getting hit with ice. The way that the fans berated RJ Davis doing the warm-ups to begin the game, like some really foul stuff that they were saying. And then also Filipowski tripping Ingram during the game, like literally tripped, like he clearly tripped him, and then trying to deny that. And then for John Shire just to go out and just apologize to the seniors, for losing, but it's not going to reprimand their behavior for throwing ice and drinks at Carolina after you had all this stuff to say at Wake Forest. Okay.
Okay, it's time to bring the crazies to the carpet. This is not the first time this season that they've done something this insidious. They
Talk
did
about it.
something similar to Pitt when Pitt came in there and beat them. It's like they get away with a lot just because we call them the Cameron crazies and they're the smart kids, blah, blah, blah. No, they're bad. They need to be
Thank,
reprimanded.
thank you. Absolutely. And I- it's so frustrating just how, like you said, they just continue to get away with all this stuff. It's just, because let's just call a spade a spade. Duke is a very white school. Okay. And it
Really
has a
white.
different look. Let that be a HBCU acting like that. That's all I'm going to say.
Period.
You know, be
Let it be
saying.
Central. You know what they be saying about Durham.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just think it's horrible.
I agree. Now the game. We look at the game, brother. What do you think about the Hills? Like, how are we? What are you feeling? How did you feel watching that game? We didn't watch it together, but of course we were testing and stuff doing it. Were you
Right.
impressed?
Like, yes, I was comfortable the entire game. Like, I was not really sweating anything really.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that we've let them every minute of both games this season. I think
That
they
is
held the lead
incredible.
for 16 seconds. Like
That's so
16
incredible in
seconds or
this
something.
rivalry.
Right. It's just unbelievable. And the fact that I think whenever it's like a must-win game, we always come to play. So I was not nervous at all. I'm just happy that for Cormac that he came out and balled out. We've given him a lot of grief personally.
We
Watching
have.
the games all season,
We have.
we have
We
talked a
have.
lot of trash about his shooting capabilities. But I have to give him credit. He set the tone and he iced the game for us.
He finally played like a 25-year-old against
Against the babies, he did that. Absolutely.
No, I'm not gonna give you grief, Cormac, because you did just that. Like, you a legendary now within Carolina basketball. 31 points again in a Duke rivalry. Yeah, that's
At
memorable.
Cameron,
At
in a
Cameron,
must-win
yes,
game to win the conference outright, absolutely.
and
And
he's played there
I'm
so
just
many.
nervous.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm nervous going forward just to see how we're going to shoot in these bigger stadiums. You know, we typically
Yeah,
struggle shooting in these bigger stadiums going forward.
we do. The
And, and
streakiness is not.
we're dependent on 3-pointers more than ever with this Carolina team than the ones in the past.
I agree, but our defense, though, that's our savior.
Oh,
Like, who
that's
says
our
that
calling
Carolina
card.
defense is like the calling card? Because it's all been about the offense for so long now. But now it's really about that
Yes,
defense, and they lock down when they want to.
that's true.
So I feel good. Maybe we get an ACC championship again. If we get that, I'll be happy. We'll see.
I don't see it happening.
And let me say congratulations to Hubert Davis, coach of the
Come
ACC
on,
coach
Hugh.
and
Oh,
RJ
was
Davis.
he?
Yep, and RJ Davis, ACC Player of the Year. There we go. And
Congrats.
your boy Ingram was named to the third team, and Baycock was on the second team.
Okay.
I think
You know how I
Baycock
feel
was
about
on
Ingram. That's my guy.
I know that's your guy. I like some
In-
Ingram.
to me, Ingram, he's Draymond Green with a bigger offensive array of talent.
Yeah,
Like he gives you the defense. I think Draymond's a better passer, maybe a better ball handler. But he gives you that intensity, the defense. But he's definitely a better shooter than Draymond is, a better scorer.
I agree. I agree. All right. All right, Heels, they did it. And ACC tournament is about to start up here in DC. So let's get ready. Let's get ready to rumble, boys.